Donald Trump is all fired up. Trump got a post-convention bump, but will Secretary Hillary Clinton get one? Well, not if Donald Trump has his way. He's already on the attack. Just a short time ago, he said this to keep Secretary Clinton from stealing the show.
I watched her last night giving a speech that was so average. And I watched last night as the network said, it was all right, it was good, they were fine. And then I watched this morning. It was unbelievable. It was so wonderful. It wasn't wonderful, folks. I thought we had a far more beautiful set, like not even a contest. How about the first night? They had no American flags up on the stage. Second night, no American flags. And then I started saying, there are no American flags up there. And then they run up with a flag, right? And then last night they put so many flags. You know, it's called overkill. It's called incompetence. They put so many flags up there, you didn't know what to do. You didn't know what to do. But let me just tell you, so Thursday to Thursday, that's the big one, right? Thursday. We beat her by millions on television. So we beat her. We beat her. And I think you tuned in out of curiosity with her. Most people of you. I was actually more curious. I was curious to see whether she'd do a class act and not mention my name, or mention it with respect. Like say, I'd like to congratulate my Republican opponent for having done something that nobody has ever done in the history of politics in this nation. Every time I mention her, everyone screams, lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. They keep screaming. And you know what I do? I've been nice. But after watching that performance last night, such lies, I don't have to be so nice anymore. I'm taking the gloves off, right? Yes? Take the gloves off. Take the gloves. Right? Taking the gloves off. Just remember this. Trump is going to be no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Former Arizona Governor and Donald Trump endorser Governor Jan Brewer goes on the record. Good evening, Governor.
Good evening, Greta.
Governor, how do the American people decide who to vote for when, on the one side, the Democrats say that Donald Trump is reckless, a hothead with his finger on the button, the nuclear button, and then on the other side, Donald Trump and the Republicans say that she's crooked and that she's incompetent. How do we decide?
Well, I think that we all know Hillary Clinton's background. We've vetted her now for many, many years, and she is untrustworthy. And certainly at the convention, it was like she was placing rose-colored glasses on all of our eyes. I think the community, the American citizens, are fired up. And, you know, everybody's got their game face on, and it is going to be hot and heavy, but the truth will be told. The American public, they want reality. They want the truth to be shared with them. And I believe that's what Mr. Trump has done. Hillary, you know, she changes history. Obviously, you know, she pretends that the Obama administration in the next 4 years of the same old stuff is going to enrich her to people. People want the economy changed. They want the taxes reduced. They want jobs. The American people want jobs. And they promise all these things, but they've had 8 years to do it, and they've been a disaster. So, yeah, it's going to get rough. It's going to get rough because we're going to be truth tellers. We're going to tell the people. But, Greta, the people know where we're at. They know the economy is in the dumps.
Don't you think that the American people ought to be able to see those transcripts that Secretary Hillary Clinton is withholding from her speeches to Wall Street, and that the American people ought to see the tax returns that Donald Trump is not surrendering as well, although I guess I'd give an exemption for the ones that are in years under audit, but that's me as a lawyer. But there are other years that aren't under audit. Why can't we get that information from both of them?
Well, I'm not a lawyer in regards to the into his income tax. It doesn't make a hill of beans to me. But I do believe that if you're in audit, you want to be protective of that.
But
and you just said that, so I think the American public understands that. Pardon?
What about the years that aren't in audit? And what about the transcripts from Hillary Clinton's speeches to Goldman Sachs, et cetera? I mean, shouldn't we? I mean, isn't that sort of helpful to us to figure out who these candidates are a little bit? And why won't they show them?
Absolutely, because they know what's in them. And, I mean, she's been bought and paid for by the bankers in Wall Street and Goldman Sachs and filling the purses of Bill and Hillary for all these years. And now, you know, she's going to be hard and tough on them. But that is something that we should be able to have access to. And here...
And the shoe on the other foot, though, what about Donald Trump's tax returns for the years he's not in audit? Why doesn't he turn those over?
Well, my understanding is that he's been audited. Everything's under audit for like 13 years. What is 14 years ago going to tell us?
I don't know, but it might call off the dogs a little bit, because when she won't turn over the transcripts and he won't turn over the non-audited tax returns, you know, people get suspicious.
Well,
why won't you?
Well, I think that he has explained that, you know, that his lawyers and his advisors have told him not to do that as long as he was under audit, and that once the audit is over, he will turn them over. But people are more worried at this point in time about reality, about trustworthiness, about your philosophy of where you're going to lead this country, and the truth. And I think that's what we need to hear. And I think that's what the public and the people on the streets, that's what they want to hear.
All right. Well, I'll give you that. I think they also. I mean, I'd like to see those transcripts from those speeches as well. I'd like to see both of them. All right. One last question is there anything you don't agree with Donald Trump on, or are you totally in agreement with him on every issue?
I don't agree with Donald Trump on everything, you know, although I do agree with him on the economy and taxes and jobs and security. That's so important.
Where do you disagree?
I disagree with him on the position of Common Core. College and career ready is what we call it here in Arizona. The matter of the fact is that we need some kind of baseline standard so that we can judge our kids across the country in New York or Michigan, so that we can determine just how well our kids are doing nationally. And, you know, it's all... And it has nothing to do with the federal government. And they keep talking about Common Core as the federal government. Well, they passed the law, the ESSA law, and that detangles everybody from the federal government. They have no influence on it, and the standards would be established at a baseline, of course, by the states, and they can make them tougher, but we need that baseline standard, and I don't know if they all understand that, but I'm going to take my time if I have the opportunity to explain to him.
Governor,
that's what I got involved in politics about.
Governor Gooden, I think education is important.